can play active region for. However, others said cannot cross over. Others said because the potential borrow regulation for the band gap difference, this error for the stabilization band goes right through hole. Proportion inside the activation region where this can recognition for this optical region. While the determination active rate is typically 0.1, 0.2 meter. A heuristic schema result significant was the current distance razor, room temperature as well as semiconductor razor. Population information number population is number photon. Schematic to regular for discrete emission of the room. Whereas the razor is photon emission razor given. Both energy razor photon lifetime formulation lifetime rate as intervention technique time model equation. Describe the dynamic intervention feature intervention with the function of fast. Equation can be changed. Equation can be assumed neural constant or the solution observation the expression or simply. Therefore, the available interpolation equation 213 schematic summarized on the figure. The equation can be easily understood by using the schema relation for figure 2 to the relation with the Barry convention 2. Temporal relation is able to razor or describe dynamic physical razor generation that nonlinear from the relation equation. The periodic estimation nonlinear time simulation emission. The nonlinear original determination causes complex dynamic razor dynamic system more detailed model realistic system as with chapter. The radiation frequency depended on the pump current, real lifetime, photon lifetime, razor cavity, the radiation oscillation frequency description for all. 1 o'clock. For pumping for normalizing razor threshold values, population initial lifetime, quantum lifetime razor cavity is a detailed versus dimension ratio oscillation frequency from the appendix. The typical variation oscillation frequency summarized table. It is found the carriage oscillation frequency semiconductor razor fast around the field. Mention the photon lifetime where the relation oscillation frequency solid state gas razor range with the oscillation characterized semiconductor razor or the application with chaotic semiconductor razor optical combination random number generation. Schematic carrier photon international semiconductor razor without the optical feedback orientation of the feedback output configuration of photon and demonstration of the figure dynamic preparation interpretation measurement. Mechanical generation of chaotic instability formulation is a radar system additional perturbation atom photon, which is the external perturbation of the nonlinear frequency between simulation with oscillation, external module chaotic instability formulation of radar output. One of the standard for single model radar equation is with that maximum Wolfram equation based on the semi-classical theory for the electric field. The described maximum equation is the microscopic atomic polarization is introduced since Schrödinger equation phenomenological atomic and photon display introduction. However, this production relation there is still follow. What's going on? Schematic difference frequency component director field rate as the dynamic show chaotic aberration component search or use irrigation dynamic first optical carrier are meant to show the Baronian aberration approximation. This is having sorry Baronian application compared with optical carrier frequency. Sorry Baronian aberration application on this. It was the first sample. It is assumed that radar assumed so that radar Baronian extend the occasion model of the column. With the occasion use the calculator radar time display to Baronian's next section. Carrier rate we can there was a director describe dynamic behavior rate applications of appendix generation formula of the linearization function demonstrable linearization in Lorentz model. This linearization can be used for the calculating separate dynamic system real equation. The general formula the linearized equation describe rate of constant set of difference equation where the maximum nonlinear function let the rate consider linear stability another interaction element variable where the vector state solution vector from linear equation where as let's us consider the simulation of the difference equation. Simple example. With the linear equation similar linear observation consider as the linearized equation observation as follows. In the words, next let's consider example Lorentz model, original Lorentz model where a typical parameter value of chaos using linearized equation of Lorentz model written a linearized equation needs to solve the original equation similarly calculate the minimum real frequency exponent. General formula for the calculation of real frequency exponential linear dynamic system with our time delay calculate the frequency exponential linear value of the exponential as here it is considered the maximum real frequency exponential linear equation. The number for the linearized difference as for the numerical calculation linear expression for the nonlinear change where the n step numerical simulation rate calculator. The value of several for the step numerical into the character the number as normalization. Very important to maintain the linear stability analysis. This variable use the character and number ratio between the next step. The calculation for equation the long term that makes me real expansion can be obtained by the expansion above linear procedure. Algorithm evaluation model. This model is a well-known mathematical model for the description of nonlinear dynamic chaos as well as Lorentz model or model written as where the typical parameter value observation chaos. Show the typical example temporal waveform chaotic attractive Lorentz model 3 time dimensional phase space. Temporal waveform chaotic attractor loss model linear equation can be as even the words real for exponential original model obtained the linear exponential original obtained. Association frequency equation as follows. First, consider of solution the need to obtain under this condition and secondary solution as a linearized biological interaction. The Jacobian matrix can be obtained. The characterization character obtained the equation Jacobian when the linear part of equation Jacobian matrix reestablished its ability generation. Solution obtained from the algebraic form. Here the Forestier conditions stable because there the solution are appendix. Complex solution expansion rate the oscillation method for all. 宇崎さんじゃないですか。Generation of chaos in laser. Basic generation of chaos in laser. A classification of generation technique of chaos laser. Next. A generation of chaos laser. Basic of generation of chaos laser. Classification of the generation technique of chaos in laser. In this chapter, major technique for the generation of chaos in balanced laser are explained or discussed for the commercially available laser, including semiconductor and solid-state laser. The dynamic of electric field and vibration inversion are treated as this time scale exchange in energy between those two efficient variables in characterizing reaction oscillation frequency. The relaxation oscillation frequency determined by the contribution of three parameters: the photon lifetime, the population investigation lifetime, and the pumping rate above threshold, as shown in equation 290. This class B laser provides stable laser instability in most simulation sheets that are already balanced over electric fields and population inversion rate stability is the condition generation determining chaos at least one more degree of freedom are required from generation of chaos, and the additional degree of freedom can be equal based the resolution of numerical chaos oscillation can be generated much what with the experimental investment knowledge dynamic of this chaos. And these two main illustrations form the stability generation chaos laser basic understanding for nonlinear dynamics in laser system, and this will number of engineering applications such as optical chaos communication and random number generation. This technique for the generating chaos with additional degree of freedom can be classified into four types: optical feedback with resistance delay, optical coupling junction, external modulation, pumping curve, nonlinear device addition following laser, optical system provide chaotic dynamic spontaneously, optical communication. Classification generation technique in calcium variance razor. This number, the table corresponds to the section number discretion generation technique. Discretion, the distinction of the model chapter mainly. Multiple razor, high dimensional razor system. The condition, the rolled hacking counts. Equal type possible optical system. This is technical stability of the figure discussed below. Optical feedback, self-feedback signal, and razor cavity count resulting causes operator razor as with the dynamic semiconductor razor with time delay. Optical feedback is typical example of feedback induced cause in razor. External mirror versus frontal razor tester. The razor lights the back of external razor with the injection with razor goes the optical self-feedback signal made this with plus carry photon injection. The razor manifold the injection instability of the razor intensity. In this situation, this temporal dynamics is determined by the two dominant frequency components, the relaxation oscillation frequency and the external cavity frequency. The relaxation oscillation frequency is a proportional sequential root of normalizing pumping flow divided the carry lifetime and the photon lifetime as shown in equation 290. So it is determined by the characteristic of the semiconductor medium. The typical value of relaxation oscillation frequency of semiconductor razor is 3 GHz, whereas the external cavity frequency depends on the distance between the frequency razor cavity external mirror as with the external cavity razor, with the razor cavity of the external frequency corresponding. The classification generation technique calls razor in additional degree of freedom, optical feedback, optical injection coupler, and this coupling layer, external modulation intensity, optical compression, cycle deficit, the visual splitter. This is the root of time right correlation cavity for the external cavity array. The external cavity frequency and note that will memorize the right ticket provided a distant vacuum. Normalize the between direction oscillation frequency. The external cavity frequency rather the hydro use as feedback in this in addition time of the single calcium feedback in addition digital feedback single external complexity with the razor dynamics to see the time to get a feedback system condition high dimension of the system. The different type of optical feedback signal can be used for generation with chaos polarization loss. Optical feedback can be used to generation chaos. It is chemical polarization rate activity rules 90s of the two orthogonal polarization model electric field injection each as a nonlinear. Chaotic dynamics can be generation with the polarization optical feedback. On the range of feedback signal can be also generation chaos in the semiconductor razor. The razor output determines photon as the conventional electrical signal optical feedback injection. Correction for the pumping injection submission was the razor output of feedback signal. The razor is only the interaction with the dynamic of the carrier density. Partner electric field, the razor that is the condition the equal optical feedback electric field. Feedback on the dynamic of razor is optical coupler with the injection. The unidirectional the match optical coupler from the razor and the razor cam. And the determined frequency component also the optical frequency determines the optical wavelength speed of light. Optical frequency range of the several handle of the semiconductor razor, and on the other hand the frequency of regulation of frequency of razor. hurricane radar. Optical hurricane radar has several handles, the semiconductor radar, and on the other hand, the hurricane reference association hurricane range with the daring optical carrier hurricane between the injection radar set to hold the regulation oscillation hurricane interaction between the optical carrier hurricane and duration oscillation hurricane can occur chaotic. Regulation may appear as a control the denomination, the hurricane, the weather, a couple of strange carrier chaos duration model. External modulation, when the external modulation had shown the permanent radar system shown the figure, chaotic instability rate and service after external modulation works and need to set and the reoperation oscillation frequency of radar. So that non-interaction between the external modulation frequency relaxation oscillation frequency may result in the generation of chaos. External modulation can also be applied to the loss and radar cavity, which region also the module of chaotic dynamics in typical resolution through the quasi-periodic rules of chaotic external modulation surrounding internal non-external and only the external of cause counting the dynamic shows the regular external chaos in some state. Now, relation observation showed the state radar system non-relation for the second harmonic generation or SHG. The mode interaction between the fundamental web line between the SHG web and the non-linear fashion of chaotic dynamics may be outside. Gas radar system complex chaotic dynamics may be outside. In addition, the chaotic non-linear atom-photon interaction, the radar element radar chaotic instability fragmentation. Multi-mode radar in high-dimensional radar system, host time radar chaos can be generated with the externalization component of numerical multiple radar ultimately moves together from self-conduit generating chaos. Degree of freedom are required if there is strong non-linear interaction among the radar modes. Chaos numerally enters some multiple radar modes host interaction can introduce chaotic instability, radar intensity relative mode hopping phenomena. The ranging mode can be the polarization mode. In control rising mode is very important to enhance stabilize the chaotic dynamic in multiple radar system. Special distinguished radar such model area semiconductor radar BAR may generate chaotic instability vibration in solid operation. In special model interaction and very strong due to carrier diffraction. Chaos oscillation can be either solved. The control of a special model is also important to enhance of separate chaotic intensity vibration. This type of radar of generation chaos as the radar with external diagram freedom may be considered not well established radar from the radar engineering point of view. On the other hand, they can be treated as very rich, complex dynamic optical device from the non-linear dynamic point of view, as may be useful as a universal model to describe as a non-linear dynamic system such as complex square dynamics of the biological system. Across a radar satisfied condition, Lorentz hacking chaos are described as section 213 and 242 class C radar with physical variables electrofield population implications. Atomic polarization can be polarization can produce chaotic temporal dynamic conditions, high power and low regulated chaotic. Looking for generation with several chaos. Many workers reported from the Lorentz hacking chaos in class CG radar explanation or numerical. Get type possible optical system, consists of a possible non-linear device and the time direct feedback loop as shown figure 3.1e. The time direct feedback can introduce non-linear dynamics of optical system. The type of chaos as well known as get the cows and generators through the room with the generation or the harmonic oscillation measure device with the described scheme of cows generation use a plasma non-linear device. In this dynamic base with atom photo insertion also for the cows generation in this scheme insertion rate comes from linear resonance cows generation for the additional plasma non-linear device time. Linear behavior dynamic can be used to describe in the scheme of differential equation can be simple one-dimensional map of semiconductor when the dynamic ferro rate director based on the basic universal instability against calculate the component is the non-linear dynamic system, electrical cycle, chemical dynamics, fluid dynamics, numeral system, biological system, and summarize as follows. Some of these characteristics calculate the advance of the engineer operator as well as for the universal dynamic. High frequency oscillation of cast can be obtained with the fast atom photon instrumental rate media of frequency rate gigahertz. Gigahertz for the semiconductor rate megahertz. Gigahertz for solid state gas rate. Oscillation frequency calculated and manually dependent on the regulation oscillation frequency rate for the non-linear dynamic viewpoint expansion rate of advantage of similar investigation on the non-linear dynamic system since basic oscillation carry frequency. Each wasいくらいです。Oscillation care frequency order, character frequency high, hence we can perform the average measurement time dependent however long period necessary quantitative investigation is the problem of the non-linear dynamic system based on frequency typical massive regular oscillation system with the corresponding regular oscillation time rate. For example, fast rate dynamic may be used for the periodic specification of force dynamic cost various small scale difference period use small randomly data. Existence to oscillation frequency in difference of the two fundamental oscillation components exist in chaotic always instability dynamic as described along with obscure care frequency several hundred terahertz. Hertz corresponding to the optical carrier oscillation of the electrical field determine the optical wavelength. This oscillation frequency is the observation director of photo detector instrument main part. Optical wavelengths can be measured using a monochrome optical spectrum analyzer. The frequency component is the recognize oscillation frequency range for the kilohertz is 2 gigahertz. Hertz chaotic dynamic can be mainly oscillation. This frequency range corresponding to regulation oscillation with because the elimination determination for the temporal dynamic by the photo detector up to the gigahertz. However, dynamic of optical carrier frequency 1040 Hz. Very important particular coherence calculate the system, for example, synchronized chaotic razor. Requires a match of particular frequency between the critical razor and the local diagram system stronger. Okay, on a looking. More diagram freedom, just a matter of regular diagram program. Classic generated the numerical diagram freedom this average the system dependent on numerical outcome model typical race. Additional allocation for the cast generation in the case of time delivery with the dimension of the consistent range dimensional In numerical diagram from radar, for example, numerical model can be easily controlled. This is different from other nonlinear dynamical systems such as the fluid. This boundary radar follows their own direction to control dynamic and radar experiment radar parameter. Evidence usually control experiment conditions as well defined. You find as a report physical and physical radar can be simulation, for example, whether instrument optical physical operation visualization of the right can be a chaos can be used a different type of optical chaos communication scheme. While the resolution of radar is supported by using photo detector by control unused variable, also instancing chaos dynamic of the radar system and experiment. The dynamic operation is the optical phase cannot measurement experiment. This characteristic extension of counting dimension where most of the borrowed current transmission or chaotic right waveform can be easily propagated for the optical fiber for the distance. The chaos can be achieved distance 100 km. The character can never optical chaos, optical communication, application. The physical component of chaotic optical system can be formed application of optical communication. Variety radar module consists of variety unique model describe temporal space dynamic radar. Dynamic radar is the measure item on the radar in the radar minimum nonlinear interaction between the optical model. For the example, Kobayashi equation of single model describe dynamic single model semiconductor radar optical field wave. The medication was a mental authority series special bounding equation was a model summary appendix C. How this section between constant expression data in the section measurement through laboratory chaos dynamics to describe from the experimental point of view several technical distinguish between determining chaos systematic easy from expression data described. Experimental appear the measurement is separated in the radar intensity to measure the virtual wavelength of the radar output into the experimental photo detector also was the photo diode often the frequency of the radar output to the direction. The direction can be attempted by the director operator to get the webcam was attempted direction can be observed using director oscillation. Using the dispersion temporal waveform by electrical signal as voltage. The radio frequency, RF spectrum, radio intensity, is another important major feature observed by using RF spectrum analyzer. RF spectrum contains information that domain the frequency component in one waveform radio intensity. This measurement of both temporal waveform RF spectrum was the basis to analysis chaotic nonlinear dynamics experiment bound-wise experimental photo detector electron amplitude oscillator RF spectrum analyzer need to specify the visual chaotic component of observation properly temporal dynamic of chaos. Example of chaos and noise from the real experimental data. Example of experimental data from the temporal waveform of radar intensity output as shown figure on the feature of the measure by using the data oscillator. It is possible to determine whether the chaotic noise from experiment data as a chapter to chaotic difference on the regular temperature waveform. The ones who determine the physical role can be described statistical circuit process and the non-distribution of figure. Example chaos generated for the semiconductor radar optical field, right? By conductor for the example for the semiconductor. Semiconductor typical temporal dynamic figure is known the submersion rate oscillation fractional rate and south down radiation oscillator fraction the durable the lagging covariance and nonlinear intention figure not simple distinction between the chaos and the noise from direct observation time series observation of the RF spectrum may be more powerful distinguish between chaos and noise experimental as shown figure 3.2 where the measurement using RF spectrum analyze the sound structure spectrum for the chaos. Get this way regular collection on the electron carry the frequency semiconductor radar, on the other hand, relative frequency component in use of the negative figure, this negative frequency maximum, then go to the major energy. The external radar temporal waveform rising associated with semiconductor radar causes induced noise oscillation. Oration spectrum of semiconductor radiation, the dynamic chaos is according to the rules of gas from the external character frequency radius, some physical parameter radar can be considered for dynamic chaos. Dynamic chaos observation of the application how to fill the dimension chaos for experience data. How to one of the important characteristics causing the transmission from the oscillation state and another state of known the application for the radar parameter will change. The example operation from the experience when the radar parameter will change the physical feedback turn increase semiconductor radar. Transmission to bound from the periodic oscillator, quadratic oscillator, before the chaotic oscillator or time. Those on the periodic road on the oscillation, the extension of the dynamic chaos, but also observation on the dimensional system of the project. Observation on the periodic is our most commercial place of the observation of the relation of experience data. Exponential rise of temporal waveform or rising tissue when the semiconductor bias numerical radar frequency function of feedback surrounding the semiconductor radar with a feedback big bar, the temporal waveform for radar feedback surrounding. Corporation radar model 2.3 endurance count dynamic station net found 280 sensors to diminish one base of non-radar. Differential regulation is the key distinction between chaos and noise. The modern radar dimension system is very important. This chaos dynamic radar may be used in settable radiation with the various analysis radiation operation. The atomic radiation can be governed. Independent of radar medium radar mode combination various numerical model have been rebodied as shown in appendix. There must be experience data numerical radar for the corresponding radar dynamical model. One of the most important procedure identify the dimension chaos and it is standard approach to the analyze chaotic phenomena in only dynamic system. We are shown the example of reflection dynamic observation numerical form the long conversion destroy dynamic single mode. Semiconductor radar with optical feedback the peak bar the temporal waveform semiconductor the feedback surrounding barrier. The numerical peak barrier indicated the periodic oscillation corresponding to the periodic oscillation. The chaotic waveform man and peak barrier in the schematic of the diagram in between schematic barrier that will carry forward the barrier on theここだけやると。 chaotic semiconductor laser. In this following section, detailing an example of different methods of generating chaos describe various laser system as semiconductor laser, electro-optic system, fiber laser, solid laser, gas laser. Both experimental numerical examples for the literature discussed in section 3.3. Chaos semiconductor laser treated and described semiconductor laser as well known as the laser, widely used for the optical communication and optical data storage. Instability of laser instability semiconductor laser has been reported to such a linear system in section 3 to several methods described in induced chaotic instability semiconductor laser, optical feedback, polarization-related optical feedback of to electric feedback, optical injection current modulation, the dynamic variety cavity surface emitting also described the non-dynamic semiconductor laser with polarized combination described comprehensive book. Also, the detailed analytical method experimental analysis the semiconductor laser with optical feedback, semiconductor laser with optical feedback. Dynamic radio and characteristic optical feedback can one of the simplest methods of injecting chaotic dynamic semiconductor laser. Experimental made a sample for the semiconductor laser as shown with the optical beam directed from the external mirror and the feedback laser cavity dependent on the thread feedback rate made a nonlinear dynamical phenomena observation such as described with self-and coherent portion. Typical semiconductor laser have curriculum for semiconductor laser method semiconductor laser optical feedback feedback solid oscillation optical feedback superior. Can make semiconductor laser with external laser, optical laser, dimensional laser, semiconductor laser, optical communication system, optical data storage system, the dynamic semiconductor laser, optical feedback, overall, making better feedback, a smaller effect of heavy storage. Relative laser radio oscillation between the depending on the radio. As well as negative feedback storage laser generation of action horizontal radio optic amid action model. This is now regime when the feedback storage around this model component noise semiconductor laser with oscillation with narrow layer. The regime corresponds to the modulate feedback storage around 1%. The relaxation oscillation between the undamped laser emission about the gradual laser shows the chaotic behavior and sometimes evolution with the stability oscillation in the coherence corresponding state. The non-level enhance the gradient under the condition. This is still being regime with storage 10%. External cavity barrier storage cavity, the laser oscillation single mode. Laser narrow gauge generating feedback radio, electron field amperature, actual optical feedback range in the outer realm that corresponds to instability of external mirror. Scattering associated device radio range gauge cavity gives semiconductor radio station enough that describe wide area small and optical feedback and directly use of communication feedback. The laser output power semiconductor laser as through the oscillation linear populational base injection carrier of function the experimental laser various injection current characteristic for the semiconductor laser with optical feedback. The solid curve characteristic with solid oscillation addition with the feedback different external cavity array. The typical field the semiconductor laser with coherent optical feedback is the threshold relation which is related to reduction. The relation of the threshold current about 3 13% residual feedback. Maybe it was 30. Residual feedback on the oscillation of the dependent passive injection currents due to the change in the frequency and instability discretion. The injection current successfully external mode sequencer is selected, then the mode hop oscillator current-based injection current features show the front and the rated instability chaotic oscillation and the semiconductor rate output oscillation between the mode jump to regime level. All headlines correspond to chaotic experimental figures show the experimental temporary waveform output of the semiconductor rate with optical feedback with the feedback strength change with the optical strength directly associated with the sound vibration rate output where the feedback strength injection and total negotiation observation from the negotiation of difference minimum relation to the frequency in the mode. Normally the exit cavity frequency is the corresponding regime between the English optical feedback. Oscillation between the estimated chaotic oscillation period assumed the frequency oscillation corresponds to regime coherent rate always corresponds. A chaotic oscillation becomes more than instrumental feedback strength English regardless of more extension oscillation. Chaotic oscillation, the quadratic oscillation, the chronological loop. In the dynamic transmission can be distinguished more carefully using RF spectral or the spectral correlation that with the optical feedback smaller than the both spectral components R1 2 later correspond to radiation oscillation for solid semiconductor where the feedback strength increases spectral coherence rate that is section around the oscillation frequency considered the spectrally constituted extended cavity frequency extended at 51% frequency region the oscillation frequency. Extended cavity frequency indicated the quadratic oscillation feedback strength increases spectral components and further chaotic dynamic spectra. Trying to obtain the total waveform corresponding to a semiconductor with triangle indicator. Uniform number. Expanded. The feedback strength increase in the smooth band spectrum of such a chaotic dynamic. A chaotic dynamics on the forward spectrum of chaotic oscillation increases the compared with the periodic oscillation. Spectral oscillation output of feedback expansion section. Section. Section, an expanded section. Numerical result of particle diagram. Numerical simulation has been conducted by using long communication for the single mode semiconductor radar with optical feedback and the appendix numerical mode for the chaotic dynamics in semiconductor radar. A summarized appendix figures show the numerical result of the dynamic behavior. With the output power, the various triangle optical feedback, the right runner, the time scale, medium runner, the attractor, and parameter RF spectrum. For small optical feedback, raise up output power, the concept or output raise output for external feedback level. 一个在传统prepare的学习的 available expression have very close relationship with the submodel. When the feedback created, the relationship appear. Appear shown that the figure how negotiation feedback raise the output to the power negotiation can create picture can be themselves how a chaotic staff. A great picture pick notable sample but picture as both around the regular system frequency and other characteristics first picture system bearer and the frequency which was the analysis chaotic illustration. When the way the aspect part stabilization the concept attractor become fail point the fail spectrum final number and carrier unique curve. Shown here. After illustration, that workout is show how the character behavior and the behavior parallel association, how the association direction was going to and the chaotic inclusion fair. Difference on body character, difference character, and opportunity to around the marginal expected process.